My name is Alessandra Moctezuma, and I'm gallery director here at San Diego Mesa College, and I also teach the museum studies classes. I started out as an artist, painter and printmaker, and then I got involved with public art, with murals, and from that I actually helped in a nonprofit arts organization in Los Angeles called Spark. And they did the public murals in Los Angeles, they commissioned them, but they also had an organization that had a gallery. So I began helping the curator and assisting with the grants writing and exhibition display and events and other things. One of the really unique things about our program here at Mesa College is that the gallery actually serves as a laboratory for our museum studies students. So you have a lot of college galleries here in San Diego and university galleries that feature the work of established and emerging artists. But our space is a little bit different in that the students get hands-on experience actually helping us with every aspect of an exhibition. So I'm trying to provide our students with an experience that is a real-world, hands-on experience. And the reason I do that also is because when I went to college, we learned a lot about how to make things, how to use different materials, how to understand art, but nobody really taught us about how to present our work or how to reach out to a gallery or how to curate an exhibition or how all of that worked. And so I want to demystify that, and I want to present to students and give them the tools so that early on in their arts career they can actually utilize those things and apply them, and as they go on to transferring or going to do their master's degrees, they will have that under their belt and they will be able to be more, I think, more successful in presenting their work. I like to give the space when I can to one artist, because there's few opportunities for one artist to show the breadth of their work. That's what I really enjoy when I go to visit an artist studio, to sit with them and to see how a whole series of works has evolved, and to hear them talk about the process and the missteps and the successes along the way, and to be able to see the progression of a series or the different alternatives that an artist has found for a particular question that he or she is dealing with. I think that's really exciting. I really love curating here in the San Diego and Tijuana region. I actually grew up in Los Angeles, and that's where I began my career as an artist and an arts professional and a curator. But the thing that I like about San Diego is that proximity to Tijuana, that there's a lot of issues that we address about exchange between cultures, about globalization, but also about things that are universal concerns. And I think that you can see that in the art that is produced here. I think when I was in Los Angeles, there's a lot of pressure for the artists to actually fit into a market mode, because Los Angeles is such an important center for the arts. And I think that can be good in terms of course, the artists and their ability to earn a living and to become, known, but sometimes it can be at the sacrifice of your work. And so I think that I see many artists here that are very honest about what they do, and they do it because they're following what inspires them and what moves them. And I think that they are very dedicated, and they don't let themselves be pulled in so many directions. So I think that the energy that you feel here, the exchange, is really wonderful. And I also think when you see Tijuana artists, for example, they are looking a lot at what's going on in the international art world. They are artists that might be showing in places like Latin America, like Argentina, Cuba, Europe, might have connections to China. So they also bring all of that into their work. And so even though one might think that San Diego as a small city would be more provincial, actually the international kind of pool that happens when you engage with artists that are working in Tijuana makes for a much more interesting and energetic type of work and approach. I think one of the challenges for us is that there's so many wonderful, talented artists here in San Diego, and there aren't that many venues that exhibit their works. Currently on exhibit, we have a Tijuana artist, Jose Hugo Sanchez, and he is an artist that I knew more from his performances. He was part of the Border Arts Workshop, and he collaborated with Guillermo Gomez Peña, who's a well-known performance artist, and also with Ruben Ortiz Torres. And from knowing him in terms of his performance, I later on ran across his work, and he actually also contacted me, and I was invited to come and visit his studio. And there is when I realized that he's actually a very prolific multimedia artist, and that besides doing his performances, he also devotes a lot of his work to working in printmaking and large-scale murals, and also public art. So I was excited because I feel that the history of printmaking in Mexico is very important. It goes all the way back to the 19th century with Jose Guadalupe Posada, and he's very well known for his Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, the calaveras, the skeletons that he painted in graphic and stark black and white, where he satirized different types of members of society. And so from that tradition, that followed in the 20s and the 30s with the Taller de Gráfica Popular. It was a popular artist workshop that created a lot of political pieces. And that tradition continued into the 70s with political artists here in the United States, with Chicano artists that adopted that, but Mexican artists also continue working along that vein. You also can see in the woodcuts and the lino cuts the influence from German expressionist artists, because all of the pieces are very strong, and that idea that you utilize art to bring attention to social issues, to critique social ills. That is a very important part of what Jose Hugo Sanchez is doing in his work. And so around the gallery you will see these prints, but they're a little bit different than what we're used to in terms of traditional prints are medium sized. These are actually monumental prints. They're printed on paper that is 16 feet long by 6 feet wide, and so that is very unusual. And then what he has also done that is unique is that usually you create a woodcut and then you use the paper and you print the image onto the paper. But in this case what he's done is that he's created these monumental silhouettes in woodcut, and he's cut them out into these interesting shapes, referencing things from the Virgen de Guadalupe to Mickey Mouse, that is part Mickey, part tank, to the Statue of Liberty, and he cuts them out and he fills them with other figures, and instead of showing the paper piece, he actually shows the carved wood piece. So I think that's unique and that's different about Jose Hugo and how he utilizes traditional techniques and materials in a very contemporary, larger scale.